So Kroivim v'nisrachkuav, they were related, but then they, let's say the wife died. So they went to the dayan. I can't serve as a dayan. What am I daitcha? That you hold like Rabbi Yehuda? Because since there's children, we're still related. Anan Ma'isinan Igrusim Marava. We brought with us a letter from Eretz Yisrael, Shein Halachak Rabbi Yehuda, that the halacha doesn't follow this sheet of Rabbi Yehuda. Amar Lahu, Adu B'Kavod Dikira Ibikinu B'chu. Am I connected to you with a piece of wax? I know we're not related anymore, but and that's not why I apostled Ladina. We called you to din, and I don't want to enter into a din with you. So it was nothing to do with their relation, why he didn't want to participate. Oyev, so we said an oev is a shushpin, which is someone that was your best friend who took care of your wedding. Oyev zeh shushpino. Kama, kol shivasim mishta. It's during those 7 days he's considered a relative, but not anymore. Beyond 1 day, he's not a korov. It's only the day of the wedding itself. What about the sonei? Somebody who hates you. Kol shalodiber, you didn't talk to him for 3 days in anger. And in the Baraisa we learned, there's a pasuk, v'hu lo oyev lo, he is not your enemy. V'lo mevakesh raso, hu lo oyev lo. If you're not an enemy, ya'idenu, then you can testify for him. And v'lo mevakesh raso, and he doesn't want bad for you, then yadinenu, you can serve as his judge. Fine. Ashkechan sone, that he's pasula edus. Oev minalan. How do you know that somebody was your friend? He cannot testify. Kari behachi. V'hu lo oyev lo v'lo ohev lo. Ohev lo ya'idenu. V'lo mevakesh raso v'lo tov aso. Yeah, if he's neutral, then you can serve as a dayan. But if you're connected to him, he's going to be an ogeh b'davar. He's going to have a conflict of interest. Now the Gemara doesn't understand. Meaning, oyev ksiv. It doesn't say oyev. How can you add these words the way the Gemara wanted to add? Elasforahu. Oyev my time mamishun demercha kadaiti. Why can you not use an oyev? Because you and him have different mindsets, and he's going to lie to hurt you. Oyev not be mekar v'daiti. Oyev, your friend, as the opposite. He wants to help you. Rabbanon, who don't agree with Rav Yehuda, hi, lo oyev lo mavakesh ra'aso my darshibe. What do they do with that pasuk? Chad l'dayan. They agree that an oev and a sone is not permitted to be a judge because he's got a conflict. And idich, Rav Yosef Rav Yehuda, v'hu lo oyev lo, v'lo vakesh raso, mikan l'shnei tamei chachamim, shesoinin zeh zeh shein yoshvim b'din ke'echad. 2 tamei chachamim that are not friends, that are enemies, they can't sit on a basin together either. Mishnah. Keitzad boitkin ha'edim. When Edim came to Bezdin, we had to put them through a process. Hayu machdisnos al cheder. We put them in a room in the Bezdin. Uma'aymin alein. We threatened them, make them afraid that they should only speak the truth. Motziyos kol adam lachutz. They take everybody else out there so that the other Edim who are waiting to give Edus do not know what these questions are. We only leave, we have 2 Edim, one of them is older. So the older one we keep in the room. Give me the facts. How do you know that Ruvain owes Shimon $1,000? Im Omar hu Shimon Omar li shani chayiv lo. If it's hearsay, if it's a testimony where the aide says, "Oh, Shimon told me that he owes money," or Ish Ploni Omar li shu chayiv lo, or some other person told me that Shimon owes the money, lo Amar klum, then we throw him out. The edus has to be on the facts that they saw Shimon, Reuven hand Shimon $1,000. But hearsay is not acceptable. Or, for example, I was in Shimon's presence when he admitted that he owed $200. So we can accept. But we hear it from one aide first. Then we put the second aide in. So we ask him the same question. If they give the same testimony, then the judges adjudicate the case. Now let's say you have 3 judges. Two say he does not owe the money, and one says he owes the money, so zakai, so he doesn't owe the money. Two say he's chayiv to pay, and one says he doesn't have to pay. Chayiv. Echad omer chayiv. One judge says he's chayiv. Echad omer zakai. Or afilu shnayim mezakin, or shnayim mechayvim. Let's say 2 of the judges say he owes the money, or 2 of the judges say he doesn't have to pay the money. And the third judge, Echad Eni Odea, I don't know, I can't decide. So we don't leave it there. Yosifu Adayonim, they add 2 more Dayonim. So they can close the case. And they go after the majority. The one who says, I don't know, it's as if he wasn't there. Gomru Sadovar, they came to a Gmar Den. So then Ayu Machnisin, O son, the 2 litigants, they bring them into Bezdin. They would say, Ruvain, you do not have to pay. Or, excuse me, Shimon, you don't have to pay. Or Shimon, you don't have to pay. Or you are chayiv and you are potter. Lo yomer ani mezakeh v'chaver mechayvin. A judge cannot say, "Oh, I'm the one who said that you were potter," and it was the 2 others that said you're chayiv. What should I do? I was in the minority. That you're not allowed to do because it says lo telech rachil b'amecha. That's like lashon hara. Hoylech rachil megalas sod. You're not allowed to reveal those secrets. Now the Mishnah said that we make them afraid. Heichi amrina. What do we say to them? Amar v'irachi amrina lahu. Nisiyim v'ruach v'geshem ein ish mitalal b'matat sheker. The person's not going to benefit from rain. He's not going to have a bracha if you lie. Amar Rava, Yachli Lamemer, they could say in their hearts, we don't have to worry. Even when there's a famine for 7 years. I'm a craftsman. I don't have to worry because of rain. I'm not a farmer. I don't need rain. So that threat is not enough for them. That an aide who tells false testimony will be killed before his time. I'm Rav Ashi. Still, people Yachli Lamema, they consider themselves Shev Shani Avi Musna Vi Inish Bloshnia Lo Shachim. 7 years have gone by, and I don't know any of my friends who've died before their time. And everybody's dying at the right time. So that threat may not work. El Amr Ravashi, Armali Nasan Bar Marzutra Aminaluhu, Sadi Shakri Agur Zili. They are not somebody who pays money for an aide to change his testimony is going to be treated very badly by the community. Where do we see this? We learned this in the Nachshir. Jezebel, the wife of Achav HaMelech, she hired Eidim to give false testimony about Navos, who was killed because of this false testimony. And they're called, even by her, Bnei Blial, these wild people. Even though, right? So that's the threat. Now, we said, hearsay doesn't work. They have to hear the guy confess. They can't say, the guy told me that he owes the money. They have to hear him. They have to give testimony directly what they saw, not about, if he says, I owe him the money, but not exactly the full details. And this is Messiah Rav Yehuda. This supports Rav Yehuda, Rav Tzarch Sheyomer Atem Eidoi. Not only that, the witnesses have to be designated at the time of the loan, and when, right? Or like the borrower admits, I owe the $1,000, and I confess it to you, and you are my witnesses. If he doesn't say Atem Eidoi, it doesn't work. Itmer Nam Rav Chibra Rav Yochanan, Monali Biyadcha. You owe me $100. Amar lo hein. The other guy says, yeah, I owe it to you. L'moch amar lo tneoli. So the guy, yes, the next day says, give it to me. So if he says, Masna nebucha, I was joking with you yesterday, Potter. Because he didn't say in front of witnesses, Atem Eidai. Taina mahachi, Monali Biyadcha. Reuven says to Shimon, you owe me $100. Shimon says, hein. L'mach amar lo tneoli. Reuven says, give it to me. V'amar lo masna nebucha, I'm joking, Potter. Let's say the lender hid witnesses behind a gate. And Reuven says, you owe me $100. And these witnesses behind the gate are listening to everything. And then Reuven says to him, would you confess in front of Chaim Yankel and Shmuel Zanvil that you owe me the money? Amar lo, no. I'm not going to confess in front of everybody. I'll tell you that I owe it to you. And then Lamacha Amar lo tneuli. The next day he says, give me what you admitted. Amar lo, I was joking, Potter. Because he could say that by confessing, it was just making him feel better, temporarily. But he didn't really want to confess that he owed the money. And he certainly doesn't know that there were Eidim there. Then the Gemara says, Ein toyanin lemesis. A mesis is a person that convinced other people to worship Avodah Zarah. So the Gemara, mesis, mandikar, we're not talking about a mesis here. What is this doing here? The Brisa was missing. Now, imlo ta'an. Let's say Shimon, in the cases that we've described, that said the next day, oh no, I was joking. He didn't make that claim that he was joking. Ein ta'anin lo. We in Bezdin don't ask him, oh, were you joking? By money cases, we don't make such a suggestion. But dine nefashos, when it comes to capital crimes, afal gav de loiton, let's say there was some claim that the accused could make to get him off, and he didn't make that claim, toyanin lo, the judges can ask him, did this happen? Did this happen? Were you afraid for your life? Right? But the exception to that by capital crimes, we make suggestions for them, ain't toyanin lemesis, because that person is also put to death. But there we don't make a suggestion for him if he doesn't do it himself. Bessin is not required to save him. Maishna meses. Shiny meses. The Torah says don't have pity on him. So there, Beis Din does not have a requirement to try to save him. But other capital crimes, Beis Din has the requirement to try to save the accused. How do we know that we don't make a claim on behalf of the maces? The snake that seduced Chava to eat from the tree of life, tree of
knowledge.
Tree of knowledge. Amrav Shimloi. Harbe Tainus Hailol Nachash Litoi. The snake could have made a lot of excuses before he got punished by Hashem. The law taught, but he didn't. Why didn't HaKadosh Baruch Hu make the claims for him? She'ein Torah l'mesis. The snake who tried to make the Chava, to make a sin, he's a mesis. So we learn from there that we don't make claims to get him off by a mesis. Now, what claim could he have said? He could have said, listen, she shouldn't have listened to me. Divrei Arav, Divrei Atamid, Divrei Mishoimin. Hashem told Adam and Chava not to eat. Now I'm telling them to eat. Why should they listen to me? Divrei Arav Shoimin. So why are you blaming me? Amar Chizkiah, Minayin shekol hamoisif goreya. When you add something that wasn't there in the first place, you make it worse. For example, when the Nochash asked Chava, what's the story with this fruit? So Chava said, Amar Elokim, lo sochlu mimenu v'lo sigu bo. Chava told the Nachash that Hashem told us we're not allowed to eat from the fruit and we're not allowed to touch the fruit. But that was never a command given to them. She added that in there. They were commanded not to eat from it. They were never told not to touch it. So she added that. And because of that, the Nachash told her, touch it. Nothing's going to happen to you. And nothing happened to her because that was not anything that they were prohibited to do. So then she went ahead and ate it. So that's why you add something that wasn't there in the first place, it's a problem. And Rav Meshashe Amar, another proof about that a mesis, we're not toying for mesis, me'acha. It says, Amosayim v'chetzi orko. The oron is 2 amos and a half length. Now without the olive, it's mesim v'chetzi orko. Let's leave this till tomorrow. We have to go into this thing a little bit more deep. Okay, so tomorrow we'll also learn. I'm only going to learn. I learned a blot today, so we'll pick up the half a blot tomorrow. Try to do a blot and a half tomorrow. 7 o'clock tomorrow. Thursday. Okay, everybody? Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Thank